TC Spiritual Shepherd. Welcome back to the channel, guys. Today we are going to be getting into belief systems part 2. So I really just like to jump straight into it. Check out my first belief systems video below about how belief systems genuinely shape our perception and perspective of reality. So I might have a belief system that I have to work out to do this type of thing. I have to eat this way to do this type of thing. I have to believe in this type of faith system. I have to believe that I have to go to school to, get a degree, to get, the job that I want. I have to have a car. I have to have this type of belief system. I have to believe this type of way. And I think that maybe I didn't explain myself a few years ago like I would have, maybe in like 2020, 2019. But I've been cultivating this for years. I've been cultivating belief systems, breaking belief systems. Not even breaking, transcending beyond just belief systems. Now, there are belief systems that you hold, and then there's beyond belief, which is the next video. Okay, beyond belief. But ultimately, to stay on belief systems part 2, you might see what your belief systems are. So you might say, okay, I have this type of belief system, I have a belief system, I have to believe in this type of faith or I'm going to hell. But that's just your belief system based on your perception, based on your perspective. Because if you were born another nationality, another race, another ethnicity, if you were born in another country, if you were born in another religion, you would say the same exact thing, and you would generally project that other people other than me are going to hell. And that is why I left the church. This is the biggest reason why I left the church. Is like that person smiles more, laughs more, is more happy, doesn't gossip, but they're a Muslim. And they say that I'm a Christian or they're a Christian or whatever. But that person gossips, that person smokes and drinks and is gluttonous and does all these different types of things. Is arrogant, is prideful, is like, stuff like that. Which one would you want to be around? You'd want to be around the Muslim. That's what I'm saying. It's like common sense is not common anymore because it's just so divisive. It's just like, well, because you have this type of way that you believe. It's like, the funny thing is some people might attack my belief systems, which I very much am okay with, which is kind of funny because I've built that belief system like, well, it's totally fine. Maybe not attack, but you get what I'm saying. Like, people could say what they want. They can have their own opinion. And I don't have to necessarily chime into their opinion. I just will generally state that's your opinion. That's your suggestion. That's not necessarily like factual evidence. That's not like something that applies to everybody. It applies to you in your own little three-dimensional world. And because you are so self-absorbed and self-ingrained in your own little perception of your own world, then you think that if anybody doesn't align with your own little tiny box perception of the world, then they're going to hell. Or and I just find that so interesting. It's like, who's doing the condemning? Who's doing the condemning? Who's doing the condemning? Is it you? Is it you doing the condemning? Because that's what is going on right now. If that were to be the whole situation, if that were to be like not a hypothetical situation, that would be a real situation, that would be condemnation. And I find this super interesting that we don't talk about this in the church at all either. I'm super like mind blown by it. And the thing is I could be like, oh, I'm so happy I escaped the Matrix. I'm so happy that I know so much and all this type of stuff. I could have that. I could have that spiritual ego. But I find it very interesting too that like I don't say a thing about like, generally I keep quiet. Now, I put this out on video for the people who resonate with what I'm saying. The people you could choose to watch or choose not to watch. Now, I find it very, very interesting that if you were to be around somebody who holds specific types of belief systems, more limiting belief systems, what do I mean? Limiting beliefs, meaning that they limit themselves to their belief systems. So if they have a belief system that they must want, if they have a belief system that they must desire, if they have a belief system that they are unworthy, if they have a belief system that the victim is humble, the unworthy is humble, if they have those belief systems, then those belief systems can self-perpetuate at a specific vibration that just attracts that same form of experience, meaning like you attract what you are. You don't attract necessarily what you want, but you attract what you are. And so if you are always perpetuating these types of belief systems, that's what you are. And so if you're perpetuating those belief systems, that's what you're going to get. And that's called self-concept, self-perpetuating cycle, self-fulfilling prophecy, meaning like people will fulfill the prophecy of their own belief systems. Another thing I kind of went in the previous video as well is like, do we really look at our belief systems, or are they always belief systems that somebody else has handed us? Do we look at belief systems like, oh, you know, this person gave me this belief system. Okay, if I were to believe that this person gave me that belief system, then I would at least be able to accredit that person or whoever that belief system came from, that person. But that's at least where I know it came from. It's just like a quote. Well, I don't know if Kobe Bryant said that, but I know Kobe at least requoted it. I know Kobe at least said it. So I'm going to listen to Kobe. You see what I'm saying? Like you could see the self-perpetuating cycle, but like the whole thing is like we keep playing telephone with belief systems. Like that's the whole thing is like, oh, so you're saying that I hold the same belief systems from 3 generations ago where they didn't have any technology, they didn't have any sense of national or global connection. They didn't have a sense of other people's religions and belief systems, other people's languages. See, and the whole thing is like we are so quick to condemn, but we are not quick enough to give compassion. And I find it very interesting that you guys might think that this is spiritual ego. This is just a realization, observation. This is just a resonance. What do I mean? I mean, like, I resonate with people, and I totally see that there are some beings in the world that really need help with their belief systems. And the only one that can actually help them with their belief systems is themselves. But the thing is some of these people believe in such a fear-based or shame-based or desire-based reality that they cannot attract, because the fear or the shame or the desire or the wanting is actually the barrier that is withholding their desired reality. It's withholding them seeing the Muslim as themselves. It's withholding seeing the black man as themselves. It's withholding seeing somebody who, seeing any type of differentiation or what you would see. We're all one being. Let me say it again. You can listen to 80 different songs on it. We're all one being. And that might trip you out because you have been in separation your whole life. You've been caused in separation your entire life. But you have to see that there is things that we believe in that we self-perpetuate. So somebody says, all men are shit. All women are shit. It's like, I literally heard this guy who was like, oh yeah, you know, women are just like this. And I was like really trying to help him out. I was just like, yo, I'm trying to help you out. Like, I'm trying to help you see that, like, because you believe in that, you are giving yourself reasons to believe in that. And that reason is going to be through action. It's going to be through experience. So then you can reason. So you can be like, oh, well, that's reasonable. Well, that's reasonable. I reason with that. I could see that. I could see that all women suck. But he'll perpetuate that cycle. I'm not saying I believe that type of way. I believe that each person is an individual. And I think that, like, as you really start to see people individually and you start to see people based in their consciousness, individual consciousness, but also tied to the collective consciousness, you start to see everything about a person. People are like, how do you read minds? Right there. You see somebody for who they are.